Ladies and gentlemen, and those who have followed Kakamega Rally, what is the fight between Oparanya and Wajackoya? And I also want to answer two questions. Do you think Raila Odinga is unaware of what is going on? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. Thank you very much for those who support us from different parts of the globe. You know, I remember talking with my very good friends, and I personally was so skeptical that I had never trusted Wajackoya in Azimio. I have to be honest. I'm entitled to my opinion. Because I used to see him as an element of confusion. Two instances. When in Jacaranda, he said that he got 2.8 million votes. Of course, it was a joke, but throwing such a statement in a narrative that they were creating, or rather in the story of how votes were. I remember the whole Azimio team are talking about 5.9 for Ruto and 8.1 for Raila. Then the same person who's still in Azimio is talking about 2.8. I looked at it as mtu ambaye haleti ile seriousness. And I was talking to some few friends saying, is he someone who has been dispatched there by the intelligence or what? I've always been having my doubts. Now, in Kibra, he mentioned that he's never been comfortable, that there are some people who didn't want to see him near Baba. And by that time, he could not make who and who did not want him near Baba. Today, listen to what he said in Kakamega. So, by all indication, the Cold War between Oparanya and Wajackoya is exploding. Because the person he is referring to there is Oparanya. Ito watu wengine walishamaliza term hata warudishe gari. You know, then kurudisha gari is in the interest of who? Is it in the interest of the sitting governor, who is an ODM governor, or is in the interest? What exactly is going on? I've always asked it. But then, when I saw Oparanya going in a rally and speaking about this and bashing Oparanya that way, then I asked myself that question. That's where you pause and ask, is Raila unaware of what's going on? Is Raila unaware? I can tell you, I have really been following politics for some time. Without any iota of doubt, my premise could be that Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya might be crossing to Kenya Kwanza. And the fellows, the ranks and file in Azimio might have intercepted that this gentleman could be leaving Azimio. I remember Oparanya, before he came back to Azimio at some point, there was that rumor. He went in some burial and said, kwamba sijui Raila amemfanyia sijui nini, anataka kutoka. He was in the brink of leaving. Then Raila convened a governor's caucus meeting in Naivasha. Then he appeared there. Then from that moment, when the Azimio activities started off, then he came back. So that is what has been going on. Lakini Wajackoya kukuja in public na ku make that statement a kumbash despite of its absence, because I know Raila is a man of soft power. Raila is a man of soft power. Haiwezi kuwa Wajackoya anaweza kuja ground ampige na kama Raila ajui. My premise could be one. And that is going to Kenya Kwanza. And then they're just trying now to create the hype that we knew. That could be number one. Number two could be that this crisis, or rather this fight between Oparanya and Wajackoya is being created by Oparanya to get a ground to exit. Because he knows very well that maybe Wajackoya cannot exit. It is a ground that is created, because I ask, where will someone have a problem? I know people around Raila, to say the truth, the ODM ranks have created a lot of firewalls for him to interact with Raila. Hata unaweza kuona kitu nataka kuambia mzee, lakini kumpata, I'm telling you, you can get people there and getting information. Sometimes it happens. It's a culture. within the ODM party. They want to shield everyone else away from Mzee, so that for you to get to Mzee, you have to really need a part with some very serious fortunes. So why would you block Wajackoya from Mzee if you really serve the greater goal? Because the greater goal also needs numbers. I saw after Jivanji, yours truly Wajackoya was with some youths, and they did a mock, some dummy some dummy protest in Nairobi, wakaenda huko parliament buildings, then it was a very peaceful one. So what could be the problem that's going on here? I want to tell you, I want to summarize it in this for what is really showing here. This is purely a Western supremacy. And just clearly, if you listen to what Wajackoya is saying, yeah, in a principle, Eugene Wamalwa's principle, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, and Raila Odinga. So it's a bit of that positioning, and that's why I normally tell you, those who also see that it's pushing the greater goal, and that is the tragedy in it. Why I don't like the fact that such is then coming to public, because the greater goal is the issue of the cost of living, and then pushing government to the corner so that wananchi wanaweza faidika. But then when the fight is about positions within that place, it changes the whole narrative. The other day, you're giving a fodder to your opponents to peddle a narrative on you. And that's why I'm like, this should have been behind in the boardroom. This should have been a boardroom politics. But why is it exploding? It's exploding because there is a reality into it. Oparanya could be going to Kenya Kwanza. And Western supremacy is here. Musalia Mudavadi is lacking the spark in Western. Despite of him being a prime CS, a position that we knew now that was going to be the kingpin. Wanawake alipigana mbele yake last week. Na event ilikuwa yake. Hii maisha bwana, sicheze bwana. Wetangula is nowhere. He's just confined in the parliament and maybe the areas of Bungoma. So the real men on ground is Eugene Wamalwa, Oparanya, and Wajackoya. Let me just throw a question. If Raila is to choose between Oparanya and Wajackoya, who will he go for? Who do you think should be picked? The other second thing here is, I think Raila's succession matrix is already causing jitters. There is a coming succession within the Azimio rank and file. That succession is there on who is going to be on the ticket. Who is Raila going to say Tosha? One thing we have to agree is Kalonzo cannot deputize anyone apart from Raila Odinga in that Azimio. And if he cannot deputize anyone. So if Kalonzo is to remain in the ticket, he has to be the ticket. Then it would be Kalonzo someone. Ama mjaribu Kalonzo Wajackoya. Martha Karua chief prime minister. Si alifaa kuwa deputy na hiyo ilikataa. Sasa Kalonzo, for me, ask me, Kalonzo is a ticket holder in Kalonzo. Though hatujasema kwamba Raila hatakataa. Lakini ticket holder as of things stands now, within the Azimio rank and file, Kalonzo. And mimi ukinipatia Kalonzo, Wajackoya, Martha Karua chief minister. Satatu. What do you think? The other thing playing here is, I see there is a likelihood that Wajackoya has been a close Raila ally from back then, even the last general election. And they seems to be having some special treatment. Or rather, he is delivering Raila's message. He is a bit entitled. That's one thing you can see. Wajackoya looks entitled. Let's wait. I want you to tell me, nini inaendelea? What do you think is playing out there? Let's meet it.